All right, I think we get started. Good morning and welcome to Get Ready, a hiring information webinar for the new Amazon facility in Pflugerville, Texas. I'm Amy Madison, Executive Director of the Flugerville Community Development Corporation. The PCDC is an economic development organization serving the city of Flugerville with a mission to bring capital investment of jobs to our community. Flanked by a rock star team, the PCDC board and staff wish you all the best as you explore future career options in Pflugerville, Texas. It is my pleasure to introduce you today to our regional partners from the Workforce Solutions Capital Area and CAP Metro. These folks will talk about their services and assistance to support future employment. Following that, we will introduce you to Amazon representatives, including the boots on the ground site lead launching the facility. And finally, you will get to hear from the hiring specialist who will train you to get ready to apply. From them, you will learn the Amazon hiring process, the types of jobs available, how to apply, and benefits for Amazon employees. At the end of the session, we will try to answer as many questions as possible. So be sure to enter your questions into the Q&A as the webinar progresses. Two sign language interpreters have joined us today for the webinar. To locate the interpreter, you will need to view your panelist window. Notification for the hearing impaired is in the Q&A now. Together with the City of Pflugerville, our organization helped recruit this project to our community in spite of a pandemic. Today, we are helping Amazon prepare all of you for 1,000 plus job opportunities opening later this summer. Our PCDC and city staff, along with elected and appointed officials, had the opportunity to tour this facility and see the Pflugerville vista from a different viewpoint. We hope this webinar will give you all the information you need to see your future career from a different viewpoint as well. So let's get ready. Our first panelist today is Leslie Puckett, Director of Research and Career Awareness at Workforce Solutions Capital Area. Leslie leads the Capital Area's strategic goal to raise awareness of in-demand careers in Austin, Travis County. She and her team analyze local labor market information and develop initiatives to connect adult job seekers and the K-12 system with employers. Leslie has been with Workforce Solutions since 2014 and received her bachelor's and Juris Doctorate degrees from Louisiana State University. Please join me in welcoming Leslie.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Amy, for that introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Leslie Puckett, and I'm here to tell you all about the resources that Workforce Solutions has to offer to you, our job seekers, and also to employers in Travis County. Workforce Solutions Capital Area has 3 career centers located in Travis County in north, central, and south parts of the county. So there's something for everyone. At each of our career centers, we have staff who can connect employers with talent through career fairs and Work in Texas, which is the state of Texas's online job database. Job seekers can attend workshops on resume writing, interview preparation, and more. All of those workshops are listed on our calendar on our website, and those will help you prepare for all of the wonderful job opportunities that Amazon has to offer. In addition, Workforce Solutions sponsors certification and associate's degree programs that are in high demand in our region. We do have some eligibility criteria that apply. And we can also provide support services such as childcare and transportation assistance to help you succeed. And best of all of our resources are free and no cost to job seekers and employers in the Travis County area. To learn more about our resources and to connect with our staff, you can reach out to us at workforcesolutionscapitalarea.com.
Thank you, Leslie. We really appreciate you being here today. We know that you've been a great partner in the past and know that you will be in this hiring event as well. Thanks a lot for your services and what you do for the region. At the end of our presentation today, we will post the website information for Workforce Solutions Capital Area to learn more about their services. So stay tuned for that. I'd like to introduce our next panelist, Julie Mazer. Julie is the Manager, Regional Planning Coordinator for Capital Metro and the Office of Mobility Management. Julie coordinates with jurisdictions outside of Capital Metro's service area to provide transportation through the Service Expansion Program. She leads strategic transit policy and plan implementation efforts for the purpose of furthering regional connectivity between transportation service providers, health and human service agencies, and other regional partners. She began her career in transit and transportation planning at Cap Metro in 2001. She served nearly 8 years as a community involvement team coordinator, and while there, closely with the community on their transportation needs and participated in the 2004 Metro Rail Education and Outreach. She also facilitated partnerships and was a special event and volunteer lead for service-related events. She's just what we need to hear from today. She will discuss the one-year pilot transport program in Flugerville, among other options in the region. Julie, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Amy. We appreciate the opportunity to be here today. We are very excited. In March of 2021, we launched the Pflugerville Pickup Pilot. It's a one-year pilot, and this is the map of the service area that we serve. So you can see there that we did include the Amazon Distribution Center within this while we were working with council and city staff last year. The service runs from Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we want to talk a little bit more about this because you can connect to this service area from our Tech Ridge Park and Ride as well. We know that being able to have connections through other means outside of this service area is important to you. So we also at Tech Ridge, you can connect to multiple routes. We have several that can go. We have express routes. We have Metro Rapid routes. We also have CARTS routes that serve other cities outside of Austin. So we encourage you to be able to go to our website, capmetro.org, to be able to look up more information regarding these services. And we also want to talk to you a little bit about the Metro Rideshare program. And if you can go to the next slide, please. So these are just a few of our business solution programs that we have. We had a great call with Amazon, and we talked about the Metro Works program and the Tri-Transit program. And this is something we'll continue to work and discuss with Amazon. But for you today, we want to talk about the Metro Rideshare program. And this is a program that provides eligible groups up to 5 to 12 riders the ability to be able to ride share. We do offer subsidies. And so we also want you to be able to go to our website, capmetro.org again, and you can be able to look up information there. This is a way for you to, if you live outside of the service area, or if you can get a group of your coworkers that you can be able to ride share to and from work. I've done it in the past. I was a Vanpool member in the early 2000s and absolutely loved it. It was a great way to save money, ride share, and not have to drive every day. So we do want to direct you to the Metro Rideshare at capmetro.org if you have any questions also. And I apologize for it not being on the screen, and we can share that with you later. But the phone number, if you have any additional questions about the Metro Rideshare program, you can contact 512-477-7433. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julie. Great job of keeping us all moving around the region. And thanks for providing the resources on transport that Cap Metro offers. I don't know if we can add, Veronica, that phone number to the last slide that we're going to display later, but if there's a possibility, that might be a good idea. So my next real exciting introduction is to meet Mike Pelonero, who is the site lead of the new Amazon facility. So talk about somebody that's really getting ready in Flugerville. He is. Mike has successfully led openings for Amazon in other states and Texas, and is now underway with the launch of what they call AUS2 or OS2. Mike, why don't you tell everyone a little about yourself, say a few words about the new facility and what you're doing to get ready for the new hires.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. We're doing a lot to get ready, and I'm really thrilled to begin the hiring process in particular. It's my favorite part of opening up a new building. I look forward to providing the local workforce with great pay, benefits, and safe work environment. The local jobs we bring to the local people we employ, we train them, we upskill. Our business is really made up of people from the communities like Flugerville and even surrounding areas. So very excited to be in this position. This slide here is a little bit about me, and I've been with Amazon. I'm in my 5th year with Amazon, and I've been opening buildings for Amazon the entire time. So that list there in front of you are all the different buildings I have helped Amazon open since I've joined the organization. So I opened up one of these big buildings in Houston the very first time I joined Amazon. That was my first assignment. Then I opened one up in Dallas, which is what that FTW code stands for. Then I moved up north into the Oklahoma space, helped them open up a building in Oklahoma City, and most recently opened up a building here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And very happy to get back to Texas. I'm a native Texan, so super excited to get to my home state and be in the Central Texas area, which is, I think, where my heart really lies. So I could talk a lot about being there. I'll spare those details. If anybody wants to ask in Q&A, I'll gladly open back up. But the most important thing for me is being a presence in the community. It's something I'm passionate about, and one of the main reasons I'm excited to make this move down into Texas. I anticipate this being my last building to open. I plan to stay at this building until the building is super stable. So probably for the next 3 to 4 years is my plan, as is Amazon. So very excited for this opportunity for myself and for Amazon and for Pflugerville and the general Austin area. As far as site details, hopefully we get some good Q&A, but I think the first slide kind of broke it down a little bit. This is a massive building. This is the type of building that's the largest Amazon has across the globe. We have about 70 of them across the globe. This will be the newest technology. We'll employ up to 4,000 total associates, plus several hundred exempt leaders. So a lot of opportunity in the building, all kinds of jobs, and all kinds of possibilities for growth. The building holds a lot of inventory, so not just does it provide jobs for the local market, but it also means folks who shop at Amazon get their stuff a little bit faster, which is always a big win for everybody. Outside of work, I have a little bit of fun facts about me. This is a big part of our culture here at Amazon, is sharing some personal fun facts. So I've listed some of my most favorite things outside of being a husband and a father to 2 beautiful daughters. I really love surfing. So I grew up on the Texas coast. I travel a lot, not as much since we've had our 2 little girls, but I really love to travel. As you can see here in that description, been to 9 different countries, over 150 different beaches. I like woodworking. So a couple of my buddies and I handcrafted a 24-foot wooden canoe. So in my spare time, which seems to be minimal these days, but I do enjoy that kind of stuff. And then I'm a big dog guy. I have Doberman Pinscher, and he's not quite an official show dog, but in the local community, he's very well recognized, won a couple big awards. So really proud of the pup there, big dog guy. Hope to have dogs the rest of my life. So it's a little bit about me outside of work. As Amy mentioned, I will be the site leader, or commonly known as the general manager for the site. We'll have a large group of senior leaders that'll be very active in the community as well. So hopefully everybody gets a chance to meet them at some point moving forward. But the building's scheduled to open quite soon. So towards the end of summer is our current plan. Official date is not yet announced. I think we should know that hopefully in another couple of weeks. And that is subject to change, but the opening is coming soon. And we're super excited to service the community, not only for jobs, but like I said, as a retailer, going into our first holiday season of 2021. So a little bit about me, a little bit about the building. Of course, during the Q&A, I'll be more than happy to answer any other questions about how excited I am to be into the Flugerville space.
Thank you, Mike. And Merry Christmas is going to be really great. I know it will be. With the addition of this facility, it's looking great. We know you're instrumental in making it a smooth transition for all the employees, and we look forward to that announcement on the opening soon. In addition to that, before they can actually open, they have to get people hired, right? So prior to that actual opening, they have to engage and begin this whole hiring process. And so today we are very excited to have some really great information for you today to get ready. Our next panelist from Amazon will provide the step-by-step of the hiring process, give you information about the various jobs, and let you know how to get ready to respond to any future interviews and onboarding. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Kat Labuski and Veronica Tatko. In 2015, Kat joined Amazon as a senior staffing specialist supporting hiring for the Dallas-Fort Worth area and Hazlet. In 2017, she transitioned to staffing manager for the Cincinnati and Daytona openings, along with Hebron and Lexington, Kentucky. In 2019, Kat transitioned to senior staffing manager that brought her to the Austin-San Antonio corridor. Veronica made her Amazon experience start in 2013 with HR launching in San Antonio, and in 2016 joined Workforce Staffing as a senior staffing coordinator. She is currently a staffing team member supporting teams in the Austin-San Antonio corridor. Just a reminder before we get and turn it over to Kat and Veronica, that if you have questions, please add the questions to the chat. We're going to try to address them after this presentation if time allows. And now, without further ado, Kat, Veronica, it's your show and it's your time to get us ready.
Hey guys, this is Kat Labuski. I just wanted to say hello to everyone. Thank you for allowing us to share this moment with you. We're super excited about the launch of OS2. I apologize, my camera is not working today, so definitely here to answer questions at the end. I'm going to turn it over to Veronica to actually start the presentation. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again for having us here. Hopefully you guys can see my screen, but today we're here to provide an overview of the Amazon hiring process, benefits to share our hourly associate positions, our operations sites. Amazon provides a variety of hourly roles from people interested into full-time to part-time, seasonal, and flexible schedules. There is a job for everyone. So why work at Amazon? Amazon is a global company, and our mission is to become Earth's most customer-centric company. Whether you want to make extra money for the holiday season or start a new career, Amazon offers opportunities for everyone. In addition to offering industry-leading wages, Amazon offers a variety of benefits based on your role. All Amazonians start a base pay of $15 an hour. Depending on the shift, you may receive a differential, which may allow you to earn more per hour. Detail of benefits are medical coverage, 401k, and investment, time off opportunities, employee assistance, and those details, specific details, will be discussed during your virtual new hire orientation. We also understand that you may want to join Amazon to begin your career. Amazon is a global company, and the possibilities for growth are endless in this goal. Amazon also understands that you may want to work here for extra money during the holiday season. If you demonstrate a positive work attitude, leadership skills, excellent job performance in productivity, quality, safety, and attendance, you can grow your career in Amazon. Amazon wants you to be successful in your career, even if that means that outside of Amazon. Amazon offers 3 programs to help you advance your career. With the career choice, Amazon will pay 95% of tuition and fees upfront towards earning a certificate or an associate degree. With our career skills program, you're provided training and certification to provide additional technical skills to move into more advanced jobs. The Associate 2 Tech program offered in fulfillment centers is a 90-day program for you to receive an on-job training for IT support technician roles. Whether your career plans include Amazon or another path, Amazon will help you fulfill your dream. Amazon has 12 affinity groups, which bring employees together across business and locations worldwide. These groups play an important role in building internal networks for creating a community and reach out to communities where Amazonians live and work. Affinity groups include, but are not limited to, BEN, the Black Empowerment Network, People with Disabilities, Warriors at Amazon, and Amazon Women in Engineering. The health and safety of our employees and contractors around the world continues to be our top priority as we face the challenges associated with COVID-19. At this time, our warehouses practice social distancing, daily temperature checks, and are cleaned and disinfected. Masks and gloves are also provided for protection. Our procedures are reviewed daily and are modified as needed to ensure that we are doing everything we can to keep our team and buildings safe. Now on to the jobs. What we're currently hiring in OS2 is our fulfillment center. Roles in our fulfillment center include selecting, packing, and shipping customer orders. FCs are set full-time schedule. Shift options include overnight and days, and usually at least one weekend day. Our surrounding area, we do have sortation centers, and they offer part-time fixed schedules. Another option is our delivery stations. Associates can be on uploading trucks, sorting packages by zip code, or assisting delivery drivers loading on their trucks. Our Prime Now is our 2-hour delivery service. Associates will be selecting and packing orders submitted by customers. At our Fresh locations, associates will be preparing and packing orders placed by customers online. As a shopper at Whole Foods, associates will be working in a Whole Foods market when the store is open. And lastly, our delivery services. Amazon partners with local independent delivery service partners that deliver thousands of packages to our customers daily. A hiring process. Amazon has streamlined and simplified the application process. You can apply online at amazon.force.com. During the application process, you will take an assessment as well as schedule a new hire appointment. At your new hire appointment, you will take your badge photo and your pre-employment drug test. We also initiate your background check and complete Section 2 of your I-9. Once the background check and drug test come back, you will be scheduled to your day 1. This process can take as little or as high as 7 to 10 days. A few days before you begin working, you will complete your online new hire orientation, and then you will be ready to start on your day 1. What are our Amazon jobs like? Our warehouses are clean and focused on safety first environment. The work is physical and most shifts require standing on your feet the entire duration of your shift and lifting up to 49 pounds with or without reasonable accommodations. Employees can wear casual dress. Amazon expects you to exercise common sense and discretion when deciding what casual clothing to wear to work. If you are unsure whether or not your clothing may be appropriate, please reach out to your hiring manager, to the line manager or HR for guidance. Excuse me. Our typical shifts, we do offer both part-time and full-time in our different facilities. That will include morning, midday, late night, and overnight shifts. And most of our buildings are open 365 days a year. How Amazon can help support your candidates looking for jobs. Our local community partners partners are very important to us, and Amazon has plays a huge role in our day-to-day success. We want to provide a seamless process for our candidates by partnering with your organization to deliver great job opportunities. Amazon partners, my apologies, that was the informational sessions, I'm sorry. What we typically do is we do informational sessions, new hire events, career fairs, or participate in workshops and employer days. We do hire also for the military. Our Amazon Warriors is made up of Amazonians who have served or are still serving in the respective countries' military forces, and all who support them, aiding veterans during their transition into Amazon workforce, providing a professional network as well as organization together for our community outreach. Amazon understands and appreciates the skills and experiences you've gained with the military. Proven leadership, teamwork, ability to work a part of diverse teams, accelerated teams, and curve and understanding of procedures, excellent planning and organization skills, demonstrates a bias for action, mission, and goal oriented. This is from Jeff. We actively seek leaders who can invent, think big, have a bias for action, and deliver results on behalf of our customers. These principles look very familiar to men and women who have served our country in the armed forces, and we find that their experience leading people is invaluable for a fast-paced environment. To search for any of our jobs and shifts available when the time is right, you can go to amazon.force.com and apply. Be sure right now that you sign up for our job alerts or text SAT now 6 to 77088 to be notified when we are starting our hiring process. And that's it from us.
Okay, well, that sounded like a lot of information. I know that we have some questions from the audience. I think it was a little hard to see that website. Can you give that website out one more time? We're going to have it at the end, I think, but would you please share that website again to apply?
Yes, it is amazon.force, FORCE.com.
Okay, and if we could just add that so in the Q&A so everybody could see that, that would be great. So I do have a few questions that have been accumulating while you've been visiting with us. And those include how many different shifts will there be? This is the first question. And then what is a typical shift differential in wages?
It does vary on the actual cohort that we're hiring to, and we don't have a blanket for one specific overnight or day shifts. It would just depend on what we're hiring to for this facility. And then from there, it's throughout the network, we will make sure that the differential is accommodating, and but it can vary anywhere from, I believe it's 60 cents to $3, and that's our typical FC that we have at the moment is to $3. But again, I'm not quite sure about OS2, what we will be finalizing as far as our shift differentials go.
Good. So another question here, are there any administrative jobs available in Flugerville, like management, HR, finance, etc.?
Those positions we actually don't hire for. That goes through our corporate office. What we hire for are tier 1 associates. So that would go through our amazon.com/jobs in order for those specific roles.
But they do exist in the Flugerville facility. It's just you have to go through a different process.
Correct, a different platform.
Okay, great. And the next question is, do you have any sales or marketing positions? It's probably somewhat related to the one prior, but.
Yes, it would be the same process to go through that, the amazon.com/jobs in order to see what opportunities they have for those type of roles.
And do they typically have sales or marketing positions at the facilities like the one we have?
No, they are typically our corporate offices, whether it's in Seattle or it's in Nashville. Those are where, or virtual, it would just depend, but those are our corporate roles, but not locally.
Okay. And of course, this one, everybody wants to know, when will the hiring process begin? We've kind of heard from you on that it's backed up based on when the opening is. Can you share the timeline on that with us, Veronica?
So what we're looking at right now is around mid-September, but it's subject to change, as Mike stated, depending on when the building is going to be ready. And so hiring typically is a few weeks prior to that, 23 to 16 days to our day one is when we start hiring. So hopefully we'll start that process in mid to late August, depending on the timeline.
Okay, sounds good. Well, knowing that ramp up in advance of the opening, no, it tells us that it's going to be soon, just not when. And how will Amazon actually announce that? What happens?
I can take that one. So it'll start with our construction crews. So it's just kind of like a cascading message. So we'll get construction teams to kind of verify this is officially when we can turn the building over to Amazon operations. Once we know that date, we go with we have like planning teams that say, hey, can this date work? Can we get freight so we can actually start operating and receiving into the building? Once all that stuff happens, it's typically within a week. And then I will, or somebody from the team like Megan, our HR manager, who I think you'll meet soon, or workforce staffing will make a kind of blanket announcement. And it will really come through the job portal websites. It's really where the public will find that out. It's through the job portal websites. So whether it's the staffing websites, or I think she mentioned earlier that we have like an external platform where folks can go, which is jobfinder.com or amazon.jobfinder.com. I think somebody asked for that website. So that's what that is. So that's where that announcement would be made. It would be on the hiring platforms.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that insight for everyone. They can keep their eye out and put that website up and keep looking. I have a question here. It's related to going back to college for a degree. And would it be possible to take time off and then come back to Amazon?
Yeah, I can feel that one too. So we have all kinds of programs for that. So it depends on what you're going to school for, how long you might have. If you're an hourly associate and you want to go back to school to pursue that, there are all kinds of shift options that you can potentially still work without having to leave. If the school schedule kind of doesn't work well with one of the options we have for employment, you can either, quit the company and be in good standing, which means you're eligible for rehire whenever you're ready, or you can take leave of absence depending upon how long you might need. It just really, that's so circumstantial. I don't want to, there's not a blanket answer for that, but there's lots of options for someone who wants to pursue that avenue. And we want to obviously work with them to, help them grow in any capacity, whether it's at Amazon or not. But it needs to be something that is specific to the circumstance and specific to the individual's plan. But there's lots of options.
And that was pretty well laid out in what Veronica was talking about and the different options that are available for that career search too. So thank you for that, Mike. What about data analyst jobs and IT related and SAP? Can those also be a local situation, but just going through the other website?
That is correct. Yes, we have those positions available in the building. So unlike like sales and marketing, or some of like those kind of software engineers, like those jobs might not lie inside the building. They would be maybe virtual or at another office within the Austin area. But data analysts, we do use those in the facility for obvious reasons. We have IT jobs within the facility. No SAP. Amazon is a software company, so we don't tend to use software that we don't create ourselves. But jobs like that do exist within the fulfillment centers. But like mentioned earlier, those would be jobs that you'd have to find on that amazon.jobfinder.com website.
Thank you, Mike. Kat, did you want to add something to that? Kat, I think you've got your mute on. There you go.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. A couple things I wanted to add. to the couple of questions that you had earlier were that I wanted to make sure everyone understood that with sites as large as OS2, there's usually multiple factors that could cause a delay, but we're super excited to continue the partnership and building those relationships in the community so that we can definitely start the hiring process as soon as possible. The other thing is that we are working with our PR team to make sure that there will be a notification to the local market that, hey, Amazon's hiring, we're up and running, please attend our hiring events. And we definitely start our hiring events 4 weeks in advance of the actual day one or launch dates. And so we will definitely make sure it's plastered out there so that everyone knows when OS2 is hiring and where to apply at. So, and the third thing I wanted to comment on was, I know someone asked about school accommodations or school. Mike gave all those options, but the great thing about this site is that there are so many different shift options. We have full-time, we have part-time, we have flex shifts where you pick up schedules when you need. And so there's multiple huge variety of options for anyone, even if you want to just pick up 8 hours a day or 4 hours a day. We have different sites that are hiring that, but I think OS2 definitely has those multiple shift options. So those are the comments I wanted to make sure I shared, and I didn't want to disrupt when other people were answering. So thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Those are some great points. What about if you are already working or you're lined up to go to work at another Amazon location in the region, but would really want to work at the Pflugerville fulfillment center instead? I mean, I can understand Pflugerville's a better place. I'm just saying. But let's assume that that's the case. What advice would you give to them?
So if you work at Amazon, and one, you're absolutely right, Flugerville is going to be a better place. Austin will be the best building, and you'll have a great leadership team spearheading the way for you. So please come join us. But if you already work at Amazon, that's a great question. We have an internal transfer process called HITS. So it's an internal transfer process. So we will be opening up HITS transfers every single month. I believe we're planning on doing it every 2 weeks. So we will have those transfer opportunities available. So you just need to go onto the HITS platform through your A to Z profile. And again, if you're already inside Amazon or an employee there, you should hopefully know what that is. If you don't, get with your local HR or whatever site you are at, and they will help you work and navigate through A to Z to get to HITS. And you'll see AUS2 code, and you would just apply through that. It's very easy.
So I would guess then going from like a part-time job you may have someplace else in the region to a potential full-time job with AUS2 is also the basic same process. They would just apply with their HR there and let them know that they were interested in full-time and would like to transfer.
Yep, the A to Z portal is super self-servicing. You don't need to partner with your local HR. If you've never done it and you want to, local HR is there to help. But the A to Z platform is pretty self-guiding. And yes, to answer your question, if you want to apply to OS2 to go to a full-time role, if you're in a facility that's only part-time, that is exactly how you would do that.
So I would like to give the ones that are listening today kind of an inside look at inside the facility very quickly, Mike. If you could kind of tell them what's different about what they're going to see inside that facility than other facilities that are in the region. I mean, I've been there, done that. So this is really a difficult question to try to articulate. Go for it.
Yeah, it is a difficult question, but I will do my best. So this is a fulfillment center. So in terms of the supply chain, we are kind of at the top end or the start of the supply chain. So we receive products from manufacturers directly, or our cross stocks, which is kind of our version of what some companies call a distribution center. So those places get all the product from manufacturers and vendors. They basically split it up to make sure the fulfillment centers have an equal portion of items for sale. And the fulfillment centers is where the items become available for sale on Amazon.com. So these are the biggest buildings. I think I mentioned that earlier. They're the largest buildings that Amazon makes in terms of supply chain operations. The building in OS2 will be the newest, largest design we've ever built, ticking in around 3.5 total million square feet. Will hold about 50 million million units of inventory, which is the most inventory Amazon's ever stored at one single location. So a lot of cool groundbreaking records we broken here at OS2. And we are doing exactly what the name says. We are fulfilling orders. So we receive product, we store it in our shelves, and that's at an associate level. So associates help unload trucks. They help store it on our shelves. And then once it's stored on a shelf, it becomes for sale on Amazon.com. Once somebody buys it, there is a complex algorithm that we don't touch that says this is the building where that item is at. Based on where the customer lives in the country, this is the building that will process that order. Then our team will then pick the item if it gets assigned to us. So that's another associate level job path. So we would pick the item, we would put it somewhere, machine or conveyor, we'll take it to a packing area. Another associate will then pack the item. Then we would label it with shipping information, and then another conveyor would take it to a tractor trailer or 18-wheeler, if you will. It gets loaded up on there by another group of associates, and then it goes on its way to somewhere else down the supply chain, meaning it gets sorted at another sort center. Those are much smaller facilities, or it goes right to what we would call a delivery station or final mile delivery. Again, these are much smaller operational buildings, fractions of our size, and then it goes for final delivery out. So inside the fulfillment center is pretty massive. At any given time, we typically have about 1,000 associates inside the building doing all those activities. So receiving items, stocking items, picking items, packing items, and loading items. So those are kind of the core job paths. And I think Veronica mentioned that in her speech earlier, kind of the core job paths that we have in the building.
Core job possibilities. Yeah. So I've got another question. Thank you for that, Mike. I think you kind of gave the vision of all that. The robotics and the IT piece inside the facility is second to none in the world. And it's just an amazing process to watch and see going. But I have a question here. What is the platform to use to apply for administrative and customer service positions? Would that not be the other website than this one, correct?
Yep.
Okay. And tell me that website one more time, just so they get it.
Amazon.jobfinder.com. Or it might be,
Thank you.
It could be a combination. I could have it backwards. It could be Amazon.com/jobfinder.
Or
I see
jobs.
some heads going, jobs,
Yeah.
/jobs. Okay, we got that one then.
Always go to Google and just Google Amazon jobs, and it should take you right there.
And you're going to get there. Right. We
have
put it out to the attendees.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's ask this one. What about if you have a regular job but want to supplement family income, can you apply for a part-time position? And are those folks encouraged to apply or not?
What was the last part of the question?
Are they encouraged to apply by Amazon or not if they've already got another job and they want to work part-time for you?
100% encouraged to apply. I think Veronica was mentioning, lots of different options. We have flex roles. So for folks who want to supplement income, we have reduced time shifts. We'll have part-time shifts. Then we have these flex shifts that are very unique and something that I think Amazon does extremely well. And we're one of the only companies that offer a shift like this where, the requirements on how many hours you have to work a month are set, and it's quite minimal. Like the minimal amount, I believe, is 20 hours a month, which is pretty low, 5 hours a week if you average it out. And you can pick up shifts however you want in 3-hour increments. So you can work all in 1 week, your 20 hours for the month, and then take 3 weeks off and then come back the next month. Or you could do a couple shifts a week, spread it out over the course of a month. And again, we're running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there's not a shortage of opportunity for those types of positions. So if that's what you're looking to do, we have a home for you for sure at OS2 and Amazon.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, how about this? You mentioned a lot of people under roof at all at one time, 1,000 people, at any given moment. So people get hungry. What do they do when they get hungry there?
They eat.
That's right.
But no, it's a good question. And I know there's a lot of stuff, that if you want to go down a rabbit hole, you can. But ultimately, there are food options within the building. I'll start with that. So this particular building will have 12 break rooms. So, the break rooms will have vending options, they'll have refrigeration, they'll have microwaves, they'll have sinks, they'll have restrooms adjacent to them. So there's all kinds of break rooms throughout the entire facility. So it's not, everybody's not trying to go to the same place. There's multiple break rooms. Again, this is a new building design. I personally haven't walked it yet. So I don't know exactly what the layout looks like, but I do know there's like I said, a dozen break rooms, which is the most we've ever put in a facility. So it's very easy. Associates will have easy access to the nearest break room, and they'll find food options, food storage options. So if you want to bring food from home, that's absolutely permissible and certainly encouraged. That's what I like to do. So all kinds of options, whether it's, traditional vending where you stick the dollar in or use your credit card, or the refrigeration type vending where you open up a cooler like you would at a grocery store, pull your food out, and then we have a self-service point of sale system throughout all the break rooms where you want to buy something, you walk up to the self-service portal, you scan it, you pay for it, you go sit down and eat. Super easy.
So before I get too hungry, we're going to go to the next question. So let me know about air conditioning. Is it an air conditioned building, and are they allowed to have fans if they need them? What about earbuds for listening to music while they're working? Tell me about those kinds of comfort things we want to know.
Yep. So two different questions. So I'll answer them separately. So let's start with air. So we have several different things. So to answer the question very directly, this is a climate controlled building. So it's not what we would consider like an open air warehouse. Those are some of our smaller facilities. They are open air. But a fulfillment center is a climate controlled facility. We have very tight standards with OSHA, so it's not even Amazon regulation. So we have to keep the air temperature between 74 and 77 degrees. And a lot of that has to do with two things. One, that's the core common temperature to make sure that from a performance perspective, we're not too hot, not too cold. And then also from a storage perspective, we want to make sure that we're not adjusting the climate too drastically for any items that might be in the building for sale. Like I said, we'll have 50 million units of items in the building, and some of them will be food, some of them will not, some of them will need dry conditions, all that kind of stuff. So climate controlled building, we keep it where it's supposed to be. We do have air circulation devices. So we have above head fans, we have all kinds of air moving devices to make sure that air is being circulated properly. So even though the temperature might read correctly, if there is an area that's not getting good flow, we have all kinds of amazing technology to keep air moving through the facility. So it'll feel like you're getting nice, cool gusts of air anywhere you are in the facility.
All right. Sounds good. So
Then
the
earbud question. Oh, go ahead.
earbuds.
Okay. So very different question. And so there's a lot of talk about this outside of Amazon, but inside of Amazon, the honest truth is it's pretty simple. It's all about safety. Safety is a value we talk about. It's not something that changes. Safety is always first and foremost in our facilities. We want our associates leaving the building the same condition that they arrive in, if not even better. So from a safety perspective, there is a lot of going on in these buildings. Like I said, it's gigantic, 3.5 million square foot, over 1,000 associates, a lot of conveyance, so a lot of like static white noise. So nothing can go in the ears that would prevent somebody from hearing something that could cause an injury. So unfortunately, we do not permit earbuds or headphones or anything of those lines. We do provide ear protection. So in certain work areas, decibel levels might be high. So we have a rotational program where no one would be in these areas more than 2 hours, and then they are provided ear protection. Every associate has that option to wear ear protection, but as far as active listening on the floor, whether it's over the ear or in-ear earbuds, it is just not safe, and so we don't allow it.
Let's talk about shifts just a bit. So are you able to work just Monday through Friday, or do you have to take I mean, how does that work, and does it pay well when you do work shifts? Can you answer that one?
Yep, and somebody from Veronica or her team can answer this as well, but there's not a traditional Monday to Friday cohort or shift because from a cluster perspective, we want to make sure that folks have consecutive work days and then have consecutive work days off. So based on how we organize our shifts, they're usually 4 10s, and then you get 3 days off. So there's no Monday to Friday schedule. There's front half of the week, back half of the week, and night shift and day shift. So that's typically the core model that we set up. And that's for full-time associates who want to work the full 40. But again, there's all these other options, these part-time flexible options that are not those types of shifts, and it's kind of pick up as you want. So a little bit of differences, probably a question that we could spend a whole session on. To be honest.
Right.
And that's what the other team will probably be there for, to answer those questions as we start onboarding.
Well, in flex shift work, it does it vary what they do more than, the full time. So no, okay.
No, the job function would be, you would be onboarded into a path, like we talked about, maybe a packing path. So anytime you pick up a shift, you're still in that same general area of the building. You're still doing the same job function. It's just you're dictating. You might want to work 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. and then next week you might want to work 1 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Right.
So that's up to the associate's discretion. But as far as the function of what they're doing, we don't want to change that on them. We don't want to have them to kind of relearn if they're taking a week in between each shift. So we want to have them have as much consistency as possible.
So Veronica, this one's for you. How many hours do you need to work in order to qualify for full benefits, and do the flex schedules qualify for full benefits?
Not for full benefits. Our part-time does offer benefits. Typically it's 401k, time off options, and things like that. Our 40 hours do have the medical full benefits.
Okay, thank you. And how often? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say they give more information once they're actually going through their cadence and their virtual training to provide a little bit more insight as to what benefits they're going to receive.
So this one's functional. You probably can answer this one too, but do they have to create an account to start the application?
So the text now, the option that I had provided, they can actually use that and then go into amazon.force.com to register an account. And then when they're ready, when we have shifts available, then they can go in and apply for a specific shift. But that registration link to the amazon.force.com is just to register them until we have shifts available, and then they can go through that process.
This one is about career advancement and pay raises. How often are opportunities given? I know it's again based on performance, but can you give an idea of how often that happens?
There's a step plan for our tier 1 associates, and HR would actually be a little bit more they'd have a little bit more insight onto the specific step plan, or Mike if allotted, but for our associates, there is a certain time frame that they get the step plan moving forward for their career growth. But everyone is encouraged also to, if there's an opportunity that meets them once they're in the floor, they can actually apply for something if they're qualified after 30 days. So the growth opportunities in Amazon are awesome.
Amazing. Yeah. I had another message, but I'm just going to repeat the answer that I think was heard. And so, or you gave, and if I'm answering it incorrectly, say so. But this one is asking about a transfer and wanting to internal transfer to the new center in Flugerville that will open, and how to do that. Next step would be to talk to their HR department and to move forward with that locally where they are. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's one option. The easiest way to do it is go to A to Z. So all associates have this platform. They opt in when you get onboarded. So go to A to Z, look for HITS. That's internal transfer system for Amazonians. And you can self-service this very easily. So OS2 has HITS open. You can apply for them. We'll be dropping them every 2 weeks, like I said. So just be on the lookout for them. If you have questions, of course, on how to do that through your portal, 100% link up with your on-site HR, whatever building you're at.
Okay, thank you. And Kat, I think you had something to add to that.
Yeah, I just wanted to tie off on 2 of the questions. One, our step plan, it's starts at 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, and 36 months. So you're automatically being reviewed for doing your job and, continuing to grow with us. The other thing I wanted to tie off on was the shift diffs. Of course, for our, night shifts, there are shift differentials, but if you're working and you're able to work, covering both Saturday and Sunday in your shift, of course, there's a preferred shift differential for that. I think with, the average for the node is, front half 60 cents, back half 115, reduced time 290, and then which is our part-time. And then also our weekend warriors, that one has a shift diff of 350. But again, that is a standard for the node, and it will be evaluated as we continue to grow and launch and prepare for the site. So definite answers will come out once they apply. They'll see the actual pay rates included on the application link. So they'll know exactly, but that's just a general standard that we have going in the node right now.
Thank you, Kat. This one has to do with daycare at the facility, and it's saying would have been nice to have had a daycare at the facility, but are there any perks for employees like discounts with daycare facilities in the area?
I could take that one. We do. My team is currently working with the local companies in the area, and we are setting up local discounts for not only daycare, but for some fast food restaurants, and then also some gym memberships, things like that. So definitely when you apply, we will give you the local discounts that we're working on, building around OS2, so it's closer to the to the candidates and associates where they live. We're trying to target companies to partner with to make sure that it's in that area for them to leverage. So definitely we will have that ready when they come through our hiring events.
Thank you, Kat. And let's talk about the interview that they may have. Is it going to be by telephone or in person? How's that going to work?
We actually, with our onboarding, or I'm sorry, with our application process, we actually we moved away from doing interviews because it was subjective. And so we're doing more of a assessment and then also a virtual job tryout. It's like a video game kind of to show you how to stack and how to stow and, to make sure that you understand, whatever amount fits on here by weight, that's the amount that you should put into that bin. So it's more along those lines to do assessment of the skill set versus, again, doing a interview where it's more subjective.
Okay, thank you. And phones, they're not allowed in the building, right?
Correct. Phones are not allowed. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I know that during COVID and during the pandemic, there was an exception made because again, families, safety is our #1 priority, but we also wanted to make sure that families were able to reach employees and employees were able to reach families. So I know that there was an exception made during that time, but I think we've moved away from that since. Is that correct, Mike?
Nothing official yet. So current state is cell phones are allowed in the building. And again, the reason it's similar to the headphone thing. The phones can potentially pose a danger. They can be a distraction. So we have lockers for everyone to kind of put their personal belongings in before they enter the operation floor. But current state is phones are allowed on the facility floor for emergency use only. You cannot use them at a workstation. For, like I said, for primary safety reasons, we don't want them out. You don't want your phone getting caught up on a conveyor, or you're not paying attention and something comes away and it could be a trip hazard or something along those lines. So we've all seen kind of the zombie walk with the phone outside of these buildings and just in the general public. So we don't want that to be an issue. So the phone should be away and in pockets, but I do expect the phone policy to change probably between today and the time we open the building. And this is like a network level change back to what it was pre-COVID. So I just don't know when that will happen or what it will be. It'll probably be something in between what it used to be and what it is today, but not something I'm super familiar with on when that announcement would be made or when the policy will change.
Okay, sounds good. Are there profit sharing opportunities for full-time and or part-time associates?
I'm not sure I know exactly what that's asking. Profit sharing?
That's what they're asking. Are there profit sharing opportunities for full-time or part-time associates?
I don't want to incorrectly answer that. I don't think I understand what the question is asking. So I would have to do some research to understand what that might mean.
Okay, thank you.
Veronica, is that something you've heard before?
Unfortunately, no, I've not.
Yeah. I don't know if that means, if that's something related to like stocks. I don't want
Right.
to act like I know what that's asking. So unfortunately, I don't have an
Okay.
answer. So I don't know what that's really asking.
That's absolutely fine. So let's talk about any discounts that the employees would receive, and does it eliminate purchase discounts that they already have with Amazon Prime? If you have them.
I can take that one. We
Okay.
do have employee discounts that all employees are qualified for, but we all still pay for our Amazon Prime membership because again, it's hard to not have that. So we do not get a discount on that portion of it, but there are other corporate discounts we do have, like shoes and things on Amazon website. But then also, like I said, we're building out the local discounts that we will definitely provide to associates when they attend our hiring events. And then especially on day one, they will get the list of discounts that all Amazon associates, are eligible for.
Are the job positions predominantly night or day shifts? Does someone have an answer for that one?
Yeah, I can answer. I mean, it's literally as balanced as you could possibly imagine. So we put a lot of energy to making sure that there's not an imbalance in where we have capacity, or where we staff our associates. So we want to be as extremely balanced as possible, 7 days a week between nights and days, because what we don't want is customer buying habits. As Amazon gets more popular, customer buying habits are people are ordering products at 2 a.m. or Thursday just as much as they order on Monday. And so we want processing capacity to be as balanced as possible across these fulfillment centers. So there's not like more on days or less on that or anything like that. It's as balanced as we could possibly make it.
Okay, we have time for just a few more questions. Do you receive benefits on the first day of working, or do you have to wait? Is there a waiting period before you can receive them?
You would receive benefits on day one.
Okay. And are there options for remote hiring?
What exactly do you mean? Like
I think what they mean
virtually
is
to apply?
remote jobs, maybe, is what the question I would interpret it to be. It says, are there options for remote hiring? So do you hire remote employees is what I think it's asking.
Okay. I know that on our corporate website, there are virtual jobs, remote jobs listed on there. But again, it's a different platform than what we're hiring for us too.
Okay. And accommodating for disabled workers. Can you talk just a bit about that and how you do that?
We have partners, and we definitely have accommodations. Whatever accommodations they need, they can request it at the time of application. Everything from the hiring event through day one, through training when on site. So definitely there are a variety of accommodations that you can request, and it's all listed in the application link.
Great. So someone tried to send a link or send a text that we gave them, and it says, sorry, no service available. In other words, is there another way to get job alerts? But can we try to clear up why it would say, sorry, no service available first? It could be a mistypo.
We can look into that. We can look into it.
We'll double check that right now, but is there any way that we could get a list of participants, whether it's texts, phone numbers, or emails or something, so that we can send a follow-up as in, hey, this is what happened, sorry, here's a new link, or
sure, yeah,
whatever.
I think we can arrange for that, and I think that would be a great follow-up. And especially with the information that we are going to put out on our last slide, making sure that that's totally accurate, and then also to give them the opportunity to get an update as well if there are errors. So okay, this one is the scheduling like Whole Food Shopper, where shifts get dumped and you have to accept it if it's available? I'm not sure I understand that question.
I saw that question and I asked the same thing.
We don't need to answer it if you can't figure it out, but I don't.
Well, I think the first thing is that these are two very different work environments. So in a fulfillment center, like once you're onboarded, you are trained into a specific path and you work in that path, and work is in front of you throughout your day. So it's not like this kind of ever-changing environment where you get like random assignments within your shift. Like if you're onboarded to pick items that have been purchased, then you're picking items. Or if you're packing boxes with items that have been purchased, then you're packing boxes. And every shipment might be different. Like you might be packing a couple books for one shipment, and then the next shipment you might be packing some spices, and then the next shipment you might be packing bed sheets and linens. Like, so there's a little bit of variability in that sense. But in terms of, you don't know what your next thing you're going to be doing is, that volatility is not there in these fulfillment centers. We're about the most organized and well-functioning version of an Amazon building that you could possibly imagine. So that doesn't typically happen in this environment.
All right. And I think we'll close maybe with this last one. As full-time employees, can I choose my specific schedule, or is the schedule decided by the scheduling manager?
So once you're onboarded into a specific cohort or shift schedule. So if it's front half days, you work those 4 days on and you're off the remaining 3. And that is your schedule if you're a full-time associate. Now, that's what HITS transfers is all about, though. So if something happens in your personal life, or something goes on, or somebody in your family gets a new job as well, and you want to change your schedule, that's what HITS is for. So you don't use HITS just to move into a different building. You can use HITS to transfer to a different department or a different shift schedule within the building you already work in. And so that is what HITS is there for. So that mechanism is literally in place to do, I think, what this person might be asking about. So that's why we constantly have them open, because we want to make sure folks are working the schedule that works best for their life outside of work. We understand that this is not always the most important thing going on. They have all kinds of other stuff, and that's why we have systems like this to help them get the right schedule in the right department for their skill set or for their life outside of Amazon.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I say one other thing? The other thing is during the great thing about the Amazon hiring process is that when you apply for a job, you know exactly what shift you're selecting, whether it's days, nights, weekends, the days that you could work, whether it's full-time, part-time. It's all there in the application process. We do not select it for you. You choose what works for your life. Whether it's full-time, part-time, days, nights, whatever days there are, they are all listed so you can see it, see what the pay rates are, see what the shift shifts are, and then you choose it. And then also you get to choose your day one. So it will have a list of, you could start on this date or this date. And so those options are there. We try to make it as user-friendly as possible to apply, and the information is there. So you will not be given a shift by any hiring manager. You will select the shift based on what's available, which we're hiring a brand new large building. And so there's balanced shifts of all sorts that you can select from. But again, it is your choice, and you will do that prior to even coming in to seeing or attending any of our hiring events. You will get to select those shifts and the start dates prior to that. The other thing I wanted to make sure I called out was that the texts are sat now 6. It actually is working. We had someone test it out and they're like, it worked out fine. So if you could just double check what you submitted the text in, right? Just to make sure it's correct. But what we have listed is working.
Great. That is good news for everyone who's here today and those that will watch this later on. And I do hope that they'll share it with friends and family. So please join me in thanking Leslie, Julie, Veronica, Kat, and Mike for taking the time to present to us today. A big thank you to today's sign language interpreters, Ann Cook and Maggie Ritter. I know you guys have to sign off now. And finally, we close the day by thanking my team, Christian Kurtz, Crystal Connolly, and Veronica Ramirez, who were behind the scenes in setting all this up and really the engine that made it happen. We want to close with some important information we mentioned today throughout this webinar. First of all, sign up for text notifications by texting that SAT Now 6 to 77088 to include notifications of new job opportunities with Amazon. Check with Cap Metro website to learn more about your nearest pickup or location for transport. To learn more about Workforce Solutions Capital Area, check their website for childcare and transportation assistance. And finally, stay up to date with Amazon Pflugerville by visiting our website at pfdevelopment.com/Amazon-jobs. We will be updating as the announcements come through on that website. Follow us on social media as well. We will be pushing out any of the announcements that way so that we can notify our local residents and regional workforce. Today's webinar will be posted on the PCDC website and Workforce Solutions. So if you want to rewatch it, you didn't particularly get a piece of it, or you came late to the party or had to leave early, this is going to be available. Share it with your friends and family who may be interested. It's been very informative, looking at a holistic 360 look at the opportunities that are coming in the near future. So thank you again for getting ready with us today. Good luck with this and all future career moves. Have a great day. Thank you for being here.